Hey y'all, welcome to Ignite Podcast with Erica Pearson. We are on episode 2 of our Kristen Singles edition for the month of April. Super excited for this next guest. Today's episode is called Ready to Love Again. So I'm going to bring Mr. Brian Whitehead on. How are you today, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. Doing great.
So we are going to be talking about, of course, the title "Ready to Love Again." So let's dig right into it. Okay, so you are recently divorced, and so how was it navigating from, or not recently divorced, but you've been divorced for a while. So how was it navigating from being married, divorced, into you're single now?
It's a it's a transition. It's a hard road. Let's put it like that because where you were when you come out of that relationship is not the same place you were when you went into the relationship. So you're trying to figure out who you are in that setting, and you're trying to. Of course, a lot of people try to jump back in. I tried to jump back in um, immediately and realize there was some things I needed to work on. So it,
Yeah,
it's a it's an interesting little journey you go on.
yeah. I think I jumped in a time or two after, right after divorce, and this time I was like, nah. So that brings me to my next question. So, why do you think it's so many divorces like in happening in the church, in Christianity? Why do you think that is?
Okay, my opinion.
Your
m-
opinion.
Most men aren't taught their role in marriages. The
Mm,
church gears a lot of sermons, a lot of their single talk um, to women, and it's geared to women as in what their role should be, and men don't really get that much of what you know the man's role is in a relationship. So a lot of times we go into marriages expecting one thing, and it's not the expectation that we actually should have, or even the role that we feel like we should have. So
yeah,
um, yeah.
yeah. So we talking about the church. So okay, do you think that we talked about this previously? Do you think that the church also plays a role in women being single, like really long? Do you feel like because they talk about that Ruth and Boaz? You think that story played out?
I think the expectations that are placed on relationships in general are bad, but what they have women expecting, how they have them, waiting, and I mean it's a grooming that I don't think is healthy. Let's put it like that. I'm not gonna say that they're trying. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't think they're trying to keep them in that position, but at the same time, I mean some of that stuff that's being preached just doesn't align with them ever being with another person.
Yeah. Do you think they setting women up for failure?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
I do too. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean it's hard being a Christian today and dating because not many people are realistic with where they're at, especially when you've been in relation, been married, uh, been in long term relationships.
yeah.
Coming coming into the church and being told, "Hey, you have to do it X, Y, and Z way," it's difficult. It's difficult, and then you know people that have been in church for most of their lives are very rigid in what you can and cannot be, or who you are as a person. So it really makes it tough for them to find somebody. Let's put it like that, or for somebody to find them because you are who you decided to be at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I think that too. I think that they do set women up for failure. I definitely do. I think that there is again a lot of emphasis on what it takes for they teach a lot about what how a wife's supposed to be, but I think that it's not, it's not enough balance. I think the
Well,
balance is.
I think the assumption is that men just know inherently
Mhm.
how to be husbands. And then I'm an example of I had no clue what what all it took to be a husband. Like, you know, I understood the submission part,
Yeah.
like that I'm supposed to be a servant, but servant, protector, provider, all these different things are simple to be said. But how does this show up in a relationship? How do you
Yeah.
how do you make it make sense when you fit another person in? And then still allowing them to be who they are without dimming their light, without like it's a lot more to it than you know what is put on it.
It is. It is. It is. So you are you enjoying this life? Are you like ready to just, or are you ready to love? Are you just trying to find the right
I'm
person?
probably I'm probably too patient in the process.
Mm,
Um, I rushed so much when I got out, and I tried to jump in relationships, tried to make myself ready when I don't think I was.
mm,
So right now I'm kind of just I'm navigating it, and
yeah.
it's a lot slower pace than when I was before. Like I don't have to have that relationship tomorrow. Um,
Mm,
if I can build something that builds into a real building block, then I'm cool.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
no rush.
Yeah. So, how do you cope with loneliness when it comes, like, how do you cope with that?
I have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work with one of my best friends.
Mhm.
I have friends that I can call, and that kind of navigates me through it. And then I'm a video gamer, so I play
Yeah.
I play video, and that's kind of my getaway in my own
Yeah.
home. Um, and now I'm starting to branch out a little bit more, go out on weekends where I
Yeah.
wasn't. And I got my daughter here with me, so
Yeah.
it balances out. I don't feel as alone as I did before when it
Right.
first hit.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of at a settled spot to where it's like I'm okay with my own
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. And that's important because you're not okay with your own company. You're not gonna be okay with somebody else's.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think we as people, men or women, do you think we make dating too complicated?
Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest. You got a rule for everything now. Oh, if he don't do this, he ain't the one. If she don't, do this, she ain't the like. It's so much back and forth rhetoric that it
Yeah.
makes it really hard to just meet somebody and take them at face value. Like we're expecting people to come into relationships rich, uh, successful,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the perfect like, hey, your Bible back and forward. Like it's
Oh,
the expectations that we place on relationships now is scary. I mean, I think it keeps people single way longer than they would be if they met people and were like, hey, I'm interested, and
yeah.
then built from there. Because
Yeah.
it all starts with interest. It all starts with conversations that you have up front and
Yeah.
dialogue that even if it's text messaging, how you
Right.
start it should be how it goes. But I
Mm.
mean, you come to the table and they're expecting, you know, they expect the husband on day one. They expect the wife on day one.
That's keep talking. That's good. That's good. Yeah. 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 I think, yeah. That's really good. What is so you talked about they need to know the Bible back and forth, right? So how do you, if you meet someone who is not on the same level as you spiritually, like how do you navigate that? Like are you good with that?
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's really what you're trying to do to gain.
Yeah.
Um, you know, how you're trying to seek God. If
Yeah.
you're not, that's a telltale sign. But if you are, where you're at that moment is not where you'll end up. So as long as you're putting in effort to say, hey, I'm seeking God, I'm trying to, be in his will, that can be worked with. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I don't need you to come in being, a scholar at the Bible.
Right.
Not saying like I don't want you to know anything, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a scholar. Like I'm not.
Right.
I can't get up and preach a sermon right now.
Right.
I get up there and stumble. So I don't want a woman that's going to be like, you know, doesn't know anything. But I don't want a woman
Right.
that's, you know, well, I mean, she can be a minister, and I'm just
Yeah.
behind them on the power curve. I'm okay with that because I'm still seeking
Yeah.
God. So
Yeah. I think expectations are too high. I think that we do want people to come in with like a this amount you paying. Your job is paying this much. You need to have this, this, and this. And I think that's why so many people are overlooking um the possible like overlooking people who they can date is because they have like these expectations. They want them to have this, and this. And a thing to remember is that if you gonna ask for something, you need to be that. Like if you want
yes,
somebody making $100,000, you can't come into you can't come in there making $50,000 and just expecting somebody else to accept that.
right.
So you got to make sure that
And I actually don't have a problem with that. Um, the because I mean, people are in different places in their careers. Um,
hmm
some people get a job and they've been there 20 plus years and that they've built that up. Whereas other people, they may have switched careers in their 30s, early 40s. Like, I'm not opposed to a woman making less than me. I think for
yeah,
me, finance is more the mindset. If your mindset is okay, like not having, or if your mindset is, I'm gonna spend every little bit that I get and then
yeah,
struggle,
hmm
that's a problem. But if you're making $50,000 and not only are you able to, take care of yourself, but you're putting a little money aside, like mentally, I feel like you're in a place that we can work with because you're actually seeing you figured out how to make your money work for you. So I think because you can make six figures a year and be broke.
yeah,
It's really more about your mindset and where you're at with your money. Your relationship with it is more important than how much you make. And I think people don't understand that part. They just think it's, well, if I make more money, then you still have the same problems if you spend money. So you
yeah,
went from having a $400 a month car note to $1,000 a month car note because now that I make a little bit more money, I'm gonna, go out there and see your car.
yeah,
So
yeah. So what is like so when you are okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about because we talked about a few days ago or last week. Women hopping in men's CM, right? So I know we talked about Ruth and Boaz and how the church, is keeping, women single. What do you okay, so when it comes to okay, what do you think as like pursuing? Do you think that's a man's job or how do you
so
think a woman
pursuing
approach?
that's I like how you use that. That's tricky. So
What?
pursue a, a man can pursue a woman, but a
Mm-hmm.
woman can be the first one to make the step.
Mm,
It's nothing that says that her saying hello or getting the man's DMs is her pursuing the man. Like he can still be the
mm,
one that after this initial, like, hey, you just showed me you're interested. If
yeah,
I'm interested back, now it's on me to apply more pressure. But
right.
at the same time, you know, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So, a lot of women are sitting here waiting on men. You never know, like, hey. the competition for women is higher than what men have. There are less of us and more
Yes.
of you.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that hey, you gotta present yourself as like, oh, a sacrificial, whatever. But it's nothing wrong with you putting your interests out there because a man may not notice. I don't know why people think that just a profile picture and a couple comments in a group or in a chat is going to
Right.
make you stand out more than somebody else. It's hard.
Okay.
It's just too much navigation to do.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna shoot your shot, shoot it
Right.
because he just may not have gotten around to noticing, or he just may not be the type that pays attention to subtle cues. You
Right.
know, just because you like my picture doesn't mean I understand that you're actually trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I think people kind of got to get out the mindset of the old school ways. You know, before it was I see you in public, I'm going to come talk to you. Well, let's be honest. Even back then, women were given they were giving cues, they were giving eye contact, they
They
were, you know, they were making themselves available to be seen. That's
Yeah.
all I'm gonna say. Now,
That's all.
what is done with that information? Hey,
I
that's
cannot.
beyond me.
I cannot. Okay. Um. So, okay, what do you think? What is your biggest pet peeve in dating? So, when you're getting to know somebody, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Insecurity.
Mm.
It's a person's insecurities, and it's because they put them on you. You know,
Mm.
it's it's rough, and I've dealt with it recently. So it's kind of fresh, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's one that I don't do well with. I'm not
Mm.
a I don't mind boosting, you know, and complimenting and all that stuff, but
Right.
when every time we go out is what do you like about me? Yeah, I can't do it no more.
You say you can't do it no more.
No, because if I'm here with you and I'm on a
Right.
date, I shouldn't have to keep explaining to you that I'm attracted to you or that I'm trying to get to know you. If you haven't gotten that sense yet, that's not my problem. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. Now, if I haven't made my interest known,
Right.
that's different. Now I can understand you asking those questions, but when we've had this conversation several
Mm.
times, and then every time I see you, it's the same conversation. Then it's like, okay, you know, this is beyond me. This is not an
Yeah.
issue for Brian. This is an issue for you to address with a therapist or with, you know, one of your girlfriends. So,
Yeah. So it was beyond the love language or words of affirmation, basically. Is
oh,
that what
absolutely. I can affirm you for a little bit, but
you That's it.
that's about all I got.
Okay. So what do you? Well, I think when getting to know someone, right? Someone, how often should what do you say is the acceptable amount of time somebody should communicate?
That's determined by the two people. Like
Okay.
some people can go days and it's okay.
Okay.
Some people's schedules don't allow for daily conversations. Now, well, I say, hey, a person has time to send a text message no matter what during the day.
Mm,
Um, but sometimes they got a lot going on.
yeah.
Sometimes they're, you know, really juggling a lot. I'm personally enjoy daily interaction, like,
Yeah.
you know, at least once a day, even if we don't have a conversation,
Hmm.
because I'm into the technology world. I can text message and be okay,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with those things. I I know guys that aren't. I know women that aren't.
Right.
So it's just all really in your communication styles and how you're comfortable with it. But I
Yeah.
think it needs to be more than just, hey, how you doing? Like,
Yeah.
give me a little bit more to work with.
Yeah. So let's talk about this abstinence thing, right? So let's talk
Mm.
about sex and Christianity and singleness. So, what do you like? Because as Christians, that's what we're supposed to, as singles, that's we're supposed to abstain, right? But for your partner, like how important that it is for you, and
For
what do you think
me,
about abstinence too?
I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary depending on where you're at. Now, as a
Mhm.
Christian, of course, abstain
Yeah,
from sex. Yeah, there you go.
right,
But
right.
I'm honest. I'm realistic. Hey, hey,
You didn't
outside
dabble
of marriage. Yeah, I done dabbled a little bit. Now, it's been a few years. You know,
Yeah,
I kind of had to take a step back
yeah,
and really evaluate me. And sex just complicates a lot of stuff. So
yeah,
I'm all for abstinence. I'm all for, you know, taking time off. Now, am I saying I'm gonna wait till marriage before I have sex again? I don't know. I
yeah,
can't even honestly tell a person that I
yeah,
am. Would that be ideal? Yes.
yeah,
Is it likely? Possible. I'm
yeah.
not gonna say yes or no, but um, in terms, I think Christians put so much pressure on themselves to be perfect and
Come
to
on.
live this perfect life. And hey, we seen the disciples; they was all jacking up at
Uh,
some point or another, walking right with Jesus. So
yeah.
you're gonna drop the ball in some ways. And I'm not
Hmm.
saying it as go out and do exactly what you want,
Right.
but give yourself enough grace to say, hey, I'm human. I got out
Hmm.
here, I got caught up in a situation, or I really was feeling this person. I thought it was gonna be more. And I crossed that line. That's
Yeah.
okay. Life happens. I don't expect my partner to come in, whoever I meet at 42 years old, to come in and
Yeah.
be a virgin. I don't expect her to be a virgin. I
Hmm.
don't, if she had sex with the last partner she had, that's not for me to really be
Yeah.
into. Because if this is what God has for me, does it really matter who her last partner was or what that relationship was like? Has nothing to
Hmm.
do with me. It just really
Yeah.
doesn't. So I never hold this, oh, she got to be the purest of the pure. I'm just not, that's not my expectations out of life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
So,
think that when you take sex out of it, I think that you have to connect on a totally different level.
oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and when you don't
And
have, go ahead.
I think that's where I got to when I just decided not to have sex anymore.
Yeah.
It was more just like I want a deeper connection. I want somebody that I can just really vibe with,
Yeah.
really just understand and they understand me. And it's nothing about the sexual chemistry. I think sexual chemistry and attraction are important,
Hmm.
but I also think on a deeper level, it has to be more to it than just that. It has
Yeah.
to be like a real, you got to be able to connect with a person. Like I know
Yeah.
people, chemistry and connection, I know a lot of people talk about that. Chemistry can be built. A real
Hmm.
connection cannot. Like for you to
Huh.
have a connection with a person is beyond just
Yeah.
anything else. So it's important to be able to connect for me. I
Yeah.
can I can spend time with you and build chemistry,
Yeah.
but that initial connection where we can just sit and talk on the phone for hours, like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that with everybody. So
Right. Yeah. And I think intimacy, when we talk about intimacy, intimacy is not just, is more than
it's not
just,
just physical.
it's
Yeah.
not just physical. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of levels to intimacy and I don't think we all connect in that way and we don't
Yeah.
experience it because
Mm,
we all we're thinking about is the physical intimacy and
yeah.
not the emotional, spiritual, all that stuff. It ties in. Like there are
Yeah.
deeper levels to a relationship than just
Yeah.
physical. And if you only get to that surface level, you just miss out on so much. So
Yeah. Yeah. So again, back to divorce. What do you think is the hardest thing to navigate? Like, what do you think is the, because you go from married, you go from single. What do you think is like the, what was the thing that you had to realize? What's the one thing you learned about yourself in that?
well, I learned a couple things, but I think the biggest thing I learned was it's okay to take a step back and just be.
Mm,
Um, we are so geared towards relationships. Everything is geared towards marriage. We're taught that marriage is a big thing as young kids. You have little girls walking around with Ken and Barbie dolls, you know, trying to marry them off and stuff like that. But it's okay to be in a single season. It's okay
yes.
to get yourself together and not to be with somebody else. Like for me, I had always, from the time I left my parents, went in the military, I
Mm-hmm.
always had somebody. I was always dating somebody. Uh, I had a girlfriend. I worked at one. I had another one. But I never had really a real single season. So once, you know, me and my ex did separate and did, you know, get divorced, now I'm single. And
Mm-hmm.
I jumped right back in because, and I'm not going to say right back in, it took a few months
Yeah.
to, to kind of have my depressed season. Um,
Yeah.
and I
'Cause, yeah,
went from the depressed,
I know.
right? I went from depressed season right into jumping into something, and
Mm,
it wasn't it wasn't what I wanted. And,
yeah.
and I think it was like I accepted the person because where I was at, I was just happy to have somebody that wanted me.
Mhm.
And I went from that to another one. And then I think 2020 was like the year where I was like, okay, sit down and
Yeah.
just be okay with sitting down. So,
Yeah. Why do you think we as people go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship?
because it's easier than dealing with our own stuff. Like once
Mm.
you go into that long, it's just you. Now you're really having to deal with your own insecurities, your own, who I am as a person, what you didn't see in your own relationship, because about divorce is a two-person. Now I know some
Mhm.
people say it's on one person, but or sometimes that one person is a lot
Yeah.
and they do a lot, but there are still things that you can learn from that
Mm.
relationship about yourself, what you
Yeah.
want to accept, who you are as a person, things you need to work on. Like there are things you could draw from any situation. And I think
Yes.
people don't give themselves time to process this stuff. I think they just get out of the relationship and it's like, hey, I'm ready for the next person. And men are worse at it than women. Women don't
Mhm.
women don't take a little bit of a break. We jump
Mhm.
right back in. We feel like the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. And I know that's a cliche comment, but it's very true. Like men don't address mental health. Men don't
Mm.
address their insecurities. Men don't address anything that's not surface level. If
Mm.
it if a person is pointing something out to us, a lot of times we do not really take the time to understand what's beneath it. All we
Mm.
think about is the surface part of it. And so a lot of times we just jump in and out of relationships. And I think the healthier thing is give yourself some time, even if that time is a month.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time to really look back, reflect, think about what happened in that relationship and what you want to see in the next. Because I think if people actually identify it wouldn't be so easy to jump in and out of relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think it's hard for men uh address their mental health, or why do you think it's difficult for them to like deal with their emotions? You know.
So just like young girls are taught it's okay to cry, it's okay to,
Mhm.
all these different things that deal with a woman's emotions,
Yeah.
the opposite happens with men. We're
Yeah.
told, you're crying, stop crying. You don't have nothing to
Mhm.
cry for. The military, they teach you suck it up and drive on. Like, life keeps going whether you have these bumps or not. And we're not taught to really identify them and
Yeah.
address them. We're just taught to move through them.
Yeah.
If you feel a certain type of way, you're the man. You got to keep going through.
Right.
So I remember when I think I had already joined the military. I came back to visit my parents, and my dad hugged me.
Mm.
And I grew up living with my dad. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times that he hugged me and just said, "I love you."
Mm.
And he was like, I should have did this more when you were young. And it wasn't that I didn't know that my dad loved me
Yeah.
because I saw the sacrifices and stuff, but I didn't realize I needed or wanted that until
Mm.
that moment. And
Wow.
so a lot of men don't get to tap into that emotional connection side until they get married. And then you get married and you're trying to address all these, now
Yeah.
we having emotional conversations that we're having conversations that get us out our comfort zone.
Yeah.
We don't usually know how to navigate those. It's easier just to deal with facts and, to
Mm.
us, as we call it, logical things than to deal with things that we can't identify. We can't identify with a woman's emotions a lot of times.
Right.
And it's not because we don't want to, because we were never taught to even tap into our own emotions. If you don't know your own self emotionally, it's really hard to understand a woman and her emotions.
Yeah.
So
That's good. I think that's good. Yeah. That's really good. Do you think so talked about when we're kids that we come up with Barbies and stuff like that. Do you think that we put pressures on people to get married? They got to get married, they got to have kids by a certain age, and if you don't, it's something wrong. Do you think that there's a lot of pressure?
it's
And that's
it's so it's so much pressure to be in a relationship.
yeah.
If you think about from even childhood, the shows that you watch, the things that are pushed in commercials,
Mhm.
it's all family. It's
Yep.
all you have to like, the American dream is,
Yeah.
the white picket fence house with your wife and your kids.
Mhm.
So it's pressure, and it's pressure that we put on ourselves, but we don't realize it because everything that we've been taught is to be accepted in this world is for other people to accept you. And
Woo.
your decisions to line up with everybody else's, how everybody else is how you're supposed to be. So
Mm.
since everybody's married, your design in life should be I get married, I have kids, you know. And what's crazy about it is they don't tell you how to navigate it. They just tell
Oh,
you this is what you should desire. You should
yeah.
desire this this house and these kids and
Mhm.
these two cars, and it's all a design to get us to buy into. And I'm not saying like it's wrong because I think it's a beautiful thing to have marriage.
Mhm.
But biblically speaking, God said that basically if you just can't resist that temptation of sex, then get married. But if you cool
Say.
being single, be a single person. It is better to just be by yourself than to
Yep.
just jump into
Better.
it just to jump into it.
Yep. Better married to burn. That's the scriptures. That's the
Right.
scripture
Yeah.
saying.
I ain't want to go that deep, but you know.
Okay. Yeah, but I think there is, a lot of pressure on getting married, but I don't think it's a lot. I've been married 3 times, but you know what? There, like you said, with men or whatever, I think that I didn't know who I was, and I was searching for something. I couldn't stay by myself, like, because you don't want to sit in that, you
Right.
know, and you gotta be able to sit in it and figure out what is going on with you, what's wrong with you, because it's not always everybody else,
No,
and
and that's the part that I don't think people get. Like, work on you.
yes,
You can, and I get it. People say, "Oh, I came into the you're not care who you are. You're not 100% healed. You're not
mhm,
because even if you're doing the work,
yep,
you don't know what type of situation is going to trigger something that you're working on, and it's okay to have the biggest sign of healing is how you respond to things that trigger you.
come on,
So until
yes,
you get to that point, it's okay to go into a relationship and you're not 100% whole,
yes,
but you got to be working on it.
you got to,
You got to be able to work on it. You got to be able to identify
yes,
where you are and who you are.
yes,
If you can't be honest with yourself that, hey, this is who I am and this is where I'm at,
mm-hmm,
you don't need to be in a relationship because you're just bringing a representative to the table at that point. So
yeah, and you got to be real with where you are. If you're not ready, it's okay. If you got issues, it's okay.
I had to tell
Yeah, but
myself a couple times, take
huh?
a step back. I said I had to tell myself a couple times, take a step back, sit down for a second. You you gotta do something else because at that point, I think I'm real. Like, all right, if I need to take more time to think of it, sometimes you don't have to, you know, Google has everybody professionals at everything. So
Mhm.
we feel like we know when we're healed.
Yeah,
And then we get to that point and somebody does something that triggers us, says something that triggers us,
yeah,
and we're right back where we started at.
yes.
So do you do you say, oh, that was just that moment and I'm good? Or do you actually say, hey, wait a second, I was over this, but I'm really not. I don't
Yeah.
think you back. I think they just keep going like, oh, I just did already.
I'm frozen. You look frozen on my end.
Can you hear
You look
me?
frozen on my end. I mean, I can barely hear you, but you look frozen on me. It's probably my internet. Um, can you hear me? I can. It's shock. Okay, there. You moving now. You moving now.
Okay.
Yeah. But what was like the last 2, 3 minutes? 3 minutes? What you were saying?
Nah, shoot. Don't know how me lie to you.
But you
Short
were
term memory loss.
right, right. But you were talking about triggers. I'm seeing right.
Well,
It's
no,
gonna
I was saying,
memory too.
no, I was saying, if you have a say somebody triggers you,
Yeah.
and at that moment you feel like I'm triggered, but I'm okay to keep moving past.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not. Sometimes you need to
Yeah.
really say, hey, why am I being triggered by this, and really address it. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people bypass that and just say, oh well, I've done the work. I've been working on myself and healing.
Mhm.
It's okay to say I've been working on something and I need to keep working on it.
Right.
Everybody wants to go to Google and be professionals at whatever it is they are, but you don't just get over things
No.
overnight. Some things take a little bit more time, a little bit more prayer, and
Yeah.
then even the praying and the fasting needs to be doubled up and tripled up sometimes. And you need to let other people know sometimes what you're going through.
Yeah.
Like, um, I think a lot of times we try to hide the the different things that we deal with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You talking? Because he froze again.
I stopped. I stopped.
But yeah, triggers. Yeah, I think triggers are important to deal with right then. I think it's what a trigger is this for you to be like, okay, something's still there and you work through it. Sometimes it's a stop, sometimes it's and like you said, if you're working on it, you have to, when you're triggered, you have to learn how to deal with it.
Right.
You have to pay attention on how you deal with it. Like, do you just flip out and you just like so emotional? Then if you are there, this you might need to
It's
work
more
on.
to it.
It's
Right.
more
It's
to
more
it.
to
Mm-hmm. You might need to dig a little bit deeper. Yeah. So yeah, I think that what we I got short term too, but it's just so good. So we was also talking about like how important it is for people to really, do you think that people know how to be married?
no. I'm not gonna say all people,
So
but a lot of people go into marriage either with unrealistic expectations or not knowing how to navigate it. A lot of
yeah.
it is really between you and that person. But you've
Mm,
been told for so many years that, this person's successful marriage and that person like it doesn't always work for every other couple. Some couples
yes.
have, other couples don't. Some people have, you know, some people don't. And a lot of times we don't know. We create roles based off of what other people have told us about marriage
Come
instead
on.
of going into our marriage and creating how our marriage is going to look.
Come on.
It's it's a lot more to it, but it's a lot less to it. It's a lot less complicated if you have somebody you can really communicate with and really say, "Hey, this is how I want it to look," because it
Yeah.
doesn't have to look like what everybody else thinks it has to look like. And the church will have it how you thinking it's all one way. You got
Right.
your husband and he's the head of the house, and the woman is just a submissive woman that don't have no other life other than to cook and clean for this man and make sure that he like that. That's not 2023. I don't
No.
know what women they been looking at, but y'all got jobs, y'all got careers, you have single families that you raising by yourself. So how do you navigate all that? How do you figure out, especially at this age? And let's
Mm-hmm.
let's cut out the young marriage because young marriage is different.
Yeah, we ain't young no more.
Now that right now that you done been in a marriage, or now
Mm-hmm.
that you done been living your life single for
Yeah.
XYZ years, now how do you navigate it? How do you
Right.
bring a person into what your space and what you're doing and how you're living? It it plays a part. And I don't think many people think beyond the surface level of what marriage is. Yes, marriage is two people coming together to be one. But
Yeah.
what does that one look like? And who determines the one? Are you basing it off what you've seen? Or are you basing it off what works for you two? And I don't
Yeah.
think people even get to that point.
Mm. That's good. That's really good. Why do you think people don't get to that point? I mean,
They don't they don't have real conversations.
mm,
You have if you start off dating a person and all your conversations are really superficial,
come on.
really surface level, at some point you're gonna run into
Yeah.
issues. You're gonna run into we don't have anything to talk about. We don't have any connection because you haven't identified who you guys are as individuals together
Yeah.
and who you guys are when you are together.
Mhm.
Because you still got to have your individual life.
Yep.
You still got to be yourself when it comes down to it. So how does that navigate with another person? Now that y'all are
Yep.
one, now that y'all are making decisions together, now that somebody got to take a lead at some points. But what is leadership? How do
Yes.
you define leadership? Is it one person in charge? For me, my leadership style is um, I'm more of a person that takes other feedback and uses that, or I prefer to have everybody's opinions and just
Yeah.
jumping out there and this gonna be my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Does that work for my partner though?
Right.
These are all things that if you don't know them up front, when y'all get into the trenches, it gets worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I
And I
think
know that.
that. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I know that from experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now I think that one thing is important. For two people to, like you said, to figure out what works for them. Because it's not about what everybody else. Because at the end of the day, that's y'all's household.
Right.
Y'all have to make decisions. Ain't nobody gonna live y'all world, right? So don't nobody else know what it's gonna take, for y'all marriage to work. For your daily
Right.
tasks and all that stuff. So I definitely think that's important that they have like the same vision. Now, let me ask you this: do you think that it's important in the talking stage for people to talk about what their vision is or what their purpose is? Because at the end of the day, marriage is to glorify God, right? And God is using it for His kingdom. So, do you think that people need to figure out what their vision is and their purpose is, what they in the talking stage and to getting to know? Do you think that's an important conversation to have, or you think that's going too deep?
Absolutely. No, I don't think people go deep enough. I don't think
Mm,
people actually have the conversations that need to be had in order to
yeah,
make a successful marriage.
yeah,
Um, a lot of times you haven't talked about finances, you haven't talked about parenting, uh,
hmm,
all these different things, and shoot, purpose. Who talks about purpose anymore? Like
right,
by the time you get to those type of conversations, you're already married. You done figured out that this person's purpose ain't what my purpose is, and
right.
we so we're in such a rush to get married
Come
that
on,
we bypass so much of the getting to know each other stage. We
yeah,
bypass the details of who a person is and how they
yeah,
even deal with. First of all, how does a person deal with conflict? What is your
mm,
style? How do
yes,
you? What is your you know love language? What is your love languages? How do you
hmm,
receive love? How do you give love? Because
yeah,
it can be very different in what a person views as what you're doing. To you
yeah,
could be one thing and it could be a totally different thing to them. So it's a lot of things to talk about and
yeah,
it can be done in short amounts of time. But
yeah,
you gotta be willing to have those deeper conversations. You gotta be willing to dig and really get to know a person. Like your
yeah,
dates can't just all be, dinner and a movie. Sometimes
yeah.
your dates need to be, let's take a walk in the park and just have conversation
Right. You
for the
gotta
whole
lay
time.
Right. You gotta lay a foundation before you can build a house. So the foundation has to be laid. So
And I mean,
that was
let's be honest. In the beginning of all relationships, they all seem perfect. They all seem like, oh, this could be the one. Oh, I just love,
yes.
love, 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 love this person and what they this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Until you have a real issue or y'all have a real conversation and y'all on the
Yeah.
line. Then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's, you know, wait, I didn't know this about this. That's a good thing though. If you're not having those type conversations where it's like, dang, I didn't know this, or
Yeah.
wow, this is how this person thinks, then you're not really asking real questions. You're just
Right.
getting to know, oh, this person wants to go to Costa Rica one day, or this person wants, like, you're getting to know the the stuff that's okay to know
Yeah.
and good to know on surface, but when are you gonna get to the deeper conversations? When are you gonna get
Right.
to know, hey, this person had sex at 16 and ended up having a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, like, don't use that as a baseline, but just when are you gonna have conversations that really talk about
The deep
this
who they
person?
are. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who they are, why they are like they are. Yep.
Exactly. Where did
Mm,
your mindset come from?
yeah.
Uh, what type of marriage did you see growing up? Did you see marriage at all?
Yeah.
Do the marriages in your family last?
Yes. Were you married before? Or why didn't it work? What was your part in
Right.
it? 'Cause-
Oh, oh
and
yeah.
it
People don't
and
like
then
them type questions.
right. And then if somebody's been married before and they want to blame it, let me tell you one thing I realized if you find somebody that's blaming it on somebody else all the time, then that's probably a problem because I think we like you said, it might be one person more than the other, but it's something that
Right.
person did. And do you think we marry potential? Let me ask you that.
No, absolutely. And I don't think marrying potential is the worst thing in the world. It's just,
You
what is the
don't.
potential? No, no.
Okay.
Because okay, let's put it like this.
Okay.
Everybody's not potentially at where they're supposed to be or where
Mm,
they're
that's
going to be when you meet them. Doesn't mean
mm,
they're not going to get there. So
yeah.
sometimes you're going to marry a person whose potential is going to take them further than where they're at. So when you look at potential, you got to determine what that potential is. Now, if the potential is, oh, we're in this relationship and he's not attentive to me right now, but he has the potential to be later, you don't want that potential.
Yeah.
But if the potential is, okay,
Yeah.
this person is really, you know, he's working toward, he's striving for his goals.
Okay.
He's,
Yeah.
he's in school right now,
Yeah.
but he's in school, has a job, but he's pushing to get in school to get a promotion, or he's in school so
Yeah.
he can learn a new skill set. That's okay potential because
Yeah.
you're working towards something. So it's
Yeah.
always, you have to determine what that potential is.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to say, hey, this person has potential, but then determine what type of potential it is. What is he pushing for? What is
Mm-hmm.
the potential leading to? Because let's be honest, if it's potential there and it leads to nothing, then you just marry somebody that was at that point exactly what they were going to be.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
a person that has potential and you can see where they're headed in the future, or you can see what they're working towards, then you have something to build off of because it's
Yeah.
different. Now, does that mean everybody that's, striving to get somewhere else end up getting there? No. So you have to determine at that point, the person that I'm talking to, is this person with the potential
Yeah.
right at this point gonna be okay? Because if they're not gonna be okay at that point, you don't want to base it off the potential that you see later. Because that may
Yeah.
not align with what ends up happening.
Yeah. Because if that person ever changes, are you gonna be able to deal with that for the rest of your life? I think
Right. But
potential. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, I
No,
would
you
say
go ahead.
it's not about the change, because they could still change. We're all evolving, and we all change as we grow.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of potential, if you're seeing a person and you're projecting where they're gonna be, you don't know if that projection is actually going to happen. You don't know if that person is, so if they're a deacon in the church, but they're trying to be a pastor one day, they may never get the pastor. Are you okay with being with that deacon the
Yeah.
rest the rest of their life?
Yeah.
It's really about seeing a person where they're at, and how where that person is at that moment is
Yeah.
going to fit in your life. And then to dig a little deeper, if you are seeing that potential or he's working towards something, how is that potential change?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if I go from being a customer service support person at a desk to being the owner of a company, what does that look like when it
Yeah.
shifts?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at home. I'm at home as this customer service representative
Yeah.
on a consistent basis, but as this, CEO of a company, my time is shorter. I have
Yeah.
less time. Like, so you have to look at how is this going to fit with what I want in my life?
Mm.
And again, we don't all look at that. And then now that's a conversation that can be had within a marriage. So
Yeah.
it's not like it can't work. But
Yeah.
again, these are things that when you're dating, you
Yeah.
probably need to start trying to think about
Yeah.
this stuff. Don't think too far ahead because they get you lost. But
Right. He said, "Don't think too far ahead." All right. So, why do you think? So, I know that we talked about people having like the expectation and stuff, but what do you? Why do you think it's hard to find uh somebody in these dating streets as Christians? Why do you think it's hard? Do you think it's easy to find somebody? Because I know you dated before.
I don't think it's hard is a different word. I would say it's complicated
It's complicated.
because you got different views. You got so many different style Christians. And you
Mm,
have so many different views on what a person should be coming into a relationship.
yeah.
And if you ever listen to Christian singles talk, all of it gears towards, you know, the men, high value men, these men that dress in, suits and the sweaters and, have this particular look. And and every person is looking for the same person.
And
But
what is that? After you finish, what person is that after you finish?
don't know. I couldn't tell you. Like for me, what I look for, I don't think it's the
Yeah,
same as other Christian
as
men.
everybody else.
And
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it like I'm unique. It's just
right.
I've gotten to a point to where I'm not looking for a look. I'm looking
Yeah.
for uh, uh I'm looking for a mindset. I'm looking for
Mm,
you know um a person that really I connect with on a deeper level.
right.
I don't think everybody searches for that. I don't think it's a deeper level. It's more who looks best on my arm, especially
Mm,
amongst Christian circles. It's more about it's, it's a showpiece. It's a person
okay.
that that they can show off and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
God blessed me with this, you know, this beautiful woman." But
Yeah.
I don't think, and I'm generalizing, so don't
Yeah.
take it as
It's
as
just
gospel. But
yeah.
I think it's very tough, and you got a lot of imposters in the Christian community as well. So you got a lot of people that you know they'll they'll look holy on the outside, and in them DMs you getting
Mm,
you getting straight
right.
you get straight Beelzebub up in there. So all I'm
Oh,
saying is,
it's
and
yeah.
that go for men and women. I'm not sitting there. Hey, one thing about me, I'll call out both sides because
Uh,
it is what it is. But
I
you
mean,
just gotta. It's a very it's tough dating now.
it
It's
is.
tougher dating now than it was in the early 2000s, 90s.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm sure our parents said the same, would have said the same thing from the 70s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. They do be looking holy on the
oh,
outside, and
hold on one second.
okay.
My bad.
That's okay. They do be looking holy on the outside, and I mean, I don't know. I think that before my taste has changed. Since I've been through relationships and went to counseling and divorce and all that stuff. I think my attractions changed, and so it makes it difficult to me because it's these dating streets for me just looks a mess. Just
What do
because.
you
What do you
hold on,
mean
hold on.
by okay?
What are you looking for?
What I'm looking for is someone like on a deeper connection. I don't like the topical conversations. I need somebody who I can connect with, like for real, on a deeper level. Like I want somebody who got vision, purpose for where they're going. Um, yeah, just someone who knows, what he wants, and it's hard to find. I mean, now I'm not gonna say it's hard. What I say is I haven't ran into them yet. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
you can say it's hard. It's okay.
That's what I'm gonna say. It's
I mean,
hard.
okay, so let's base it off how we shop for cars.
Okay.
We we research for cars. We find the
Okay.
color we want. We find the if it's gonna be an SUV, it's gonna be a coupe. It's gonna. I have no issues with a person saying I have preferences because I think each person and what they want out of a relationship
Yeah.
and what they want out of a partner is different.
Yeah.
So I I will say preferences are okay. A lot of people are like, oh, you just you want too much. When you pick out a car, you know down to the details what you want in that car. You know what features, you know, like I said, if it's leather seats or cloth seats,
Mhm.
you know what you want in the car.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be so different in dating?
Oh, that's
Now,
good.
to
Okay.
circle back to that statement though, it is difficult to find exactly what you want. And sometimes it's okay to adjust, just like when we go shopping for a car. We realize that the budget for this car
Hey,
is
what?
above what I can afford.
Okay.
People need to adjust and say, hey, that 6 foot brother that I think I gotta have, and I'm
Yeah.
5'1",
Yeah.
you may need a 5'5", 5'6" guy. It's
Right.
okay
Yeah.
if he meets if he makes you feel like a respected woman that
Hmm.
he is going to protect and provide for,
Yeah.
then it's okay to come up off some of your preferences.
Yeah.
Just make
Yeah.
sure that it's going to align with what God has for you, because there is no particular one person. I know a lot of people have this mindset
Eh,
that he's
Let's
just
talk
gonna
about that.
send the one.
Yeah.
That's not real. It's not. It's not. The
Mhm.
guy puts you in too many different positions and places,
Come on.
and you can meet different people at different seasons
Hmm.
that are gonna fit what you need at that point. So that doesn't make them the one. That just makes them, this person was valuable for me at this moment. And it's
Mm.
okay to be with them at that time, learn what you learn from them, and to keep it moving. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that that person is, this is my one. We gotta be together. No,
So,
it
question.
just it don't work that way.
So, are you casually dating, or are you dating with purpose?
I'm casual. I'm casual.
You're
I'm not.
casual. Okay.
I'm not at the date for purpose yet.
You're not
I don't
okay.
even understand what I don't even understand why people say they date with purpose.
You do not. Okay.
No,
So, are
no,
you that person who can date like multiple people? Because now
I
that's a
can't.
whole.
I
See,
can't. I
yeah.
I
Go ahead.
can't compartmentalize getting to know more than one person at a time.
Yeah.
I've tried it. It does not work well for me because
Yeah.
I don't like mixing people. I don't like if I'm going to give you attention, I need to be able to focus on a particular person.
Right.
Um, Now I can talk to all my friends and stuff while I'm talking to you, but I can't
Yeah.
talk to other women at the same time. So
Right.
yes, I casually date, but I'm not out here serial dating, as they
Right.
call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And dating for a purpose. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I'm dating with a purpose. What is that purpose?
So dating with the purpose is dating with the intent of marriage, right? So now that's a whole nother conversation because I'm new to these dating streets, right? So I need to know I don't have the mindset to date multiple people. So I need to get to know one person at a time, right? Dating with a purpose is dating with the intent of marriage. So you met someone, y'all say that y'all are, y'all good, y'all together, and then y'all are dating with the intent of marriage at the end. That's what dating with purpose is.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How is that different from just regular dating?
Well, that's see, this is the thing. Okay, so I'm new to this thing. So do y'all call like and I honestly
No,
let
no,
me
no, don't take y'all. Don't take y'all.
okay.
To
Let
me,
me
if I'm dating, I'm
okay.
just dating.
Right.
It doesn't have to be with a purpose because let's be honest. If
Okay.
you're dating, now there are some people that are dating and don't want marriage.
Yeah.
We will say that.
Yeah.
But my problem with dating with a purpose is this.
Okay.
Everybody you date is with a purpose. Everybody you date has the same potential to get to. That's exclusive to me. Dating with a purpose is we determine we're going to be exclusive and we're going to start just being one on one. That's not dating anymore. That's you're in a relationship at that point.
You're in a
So
relationship.
what is dating with a purpose?
So it's just so dating with
So
well,
many
I
people,
mean,
so
that's
many
just the
people
thing.
say dating. So many people say dating with a purpose. And at the end of the day, if you got to that point, you've just been regular dating, and now we're exclusive. Stop saying you're dating with a purpose. This is the
Okay,
person I'm trying to figure out if we're gonna get married.
oh, but that's just so that, and that's another thing. So Erica back then, the broken Erica, she dated one way. So this new Erica, I don't know. I've tried it. I've gotten out there. I've probably talked to like one person. So I'm new to like this dating world here. Um, but do y'all like or do people, let me say not y'all, do people just like why is it that you gotta date multiple people? Like I don't understand that. Like why do you have to because I'm not I gotta
Okay,
talk to
so
you for two
the,
weeks, then I gotta talk to you for 2 weeks. I like what
so dating multiple people is so that you get experiences with different type of people at the same. I, it's not dating. I don't know why people call it dating.
okay, so
Eh,
what is
It's information gathering. If you're gonna
information?
talk to more than one person at a time, you're gathering information.
Okay.
So you're going on dates, but you're not dating because and well, I guess you can call it dating, honestly, because dating is really just information gathering. It's your
Yeah.
time to meet different people, figure out what works best with me, and
Yeah.
then determine who you want to be exclusive with, if you want to be exclusive with them. So you can call it dating.
Call it dating.
Dating with a purpose, I guess.
He said dating with a purpose. I mean, I'm just, I
But see, I'm gonna put it like this: outside of the Christian community,
okay.
you don't get a lot of people saying I'm dating
Dating with
with
purpose.
purpose.
Yeah.
You just don't like you're dating. It's okay to just say I'm dating. Like you don't
Hmm.
have to say I'm dating with purpose because I wanted to lead to marriage. Most people that are dating wanted to lead to marriage, or they wanted to lead to exclusivity.
Yeah.
So you're dating with the same intentions that everybody else has to not be
Yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah.
We make things so much more complicated than we have to.
More. That's yeah.
You put this label out there. I'm dating with purpose,
I,
and for a person that don't date with purpose, you done ruled that person all the way out. Because to him, I'm just dating. I don't know what the purpose is.
okay.
So when I go in these Christian groups and I see dating with purpose, I say, okay, you
How
start
did
asking that question too. For all y'all dating with purpose, what is your purpose?
and what where have that led, huh?
You still in here dating for purpose 5 years later. Maybe
Okay,
the
so
wrong purpose.
God. Okay, so how long do you like what is your like so how long do you date someone before you say you want to be exclusive?
I mean, it depends on it depends on the connection. It depends
Yeah,
on the amount of dates we're going on and how often we're spending time. Like like I
right.
said, I'm in a season for patience, so I'm not like
Yeah,
I'm not to just be like, ooh, this is my girlfriend.
right.
Ooh, this
Yeah,
like I want to really get to know a person. I really want to,
right.
see this person in different seasons,
Yeah.
how they deal with, conflict, how they deal with,
Mhm.
you know, insecurities.
Yeah.
I want to see it all and see how it meshes with me because
Yeah.
I'm very laid back to the point
Mhm.
that a lot of people think I don't care about stuff. So I'm not a hard person to deal with, but it may look different to somebody else
Mhm.
that's not for me, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like
Yeah.
a person that understands me can get he's he's like this, but it doesn't mean he's not in it with me. For
Right.
a person that doesn't understand me, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm just dealing with this by myself,"
Yeah.
because I don't let pressure or stress overrule me often. Um,
Yeah.
so how one person may deal with it, I may be totally calm, and they're trying to figure out does he
Yeah.
even care when I
Yeah.
do. So I'm okay taking my time because
Right.
I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm playful. Like, then they may say I'm not taking it serious because I'm laughing because
Right.
the situation to me may not be the situation to you. So I'm
Yeah.
just, I think I'm a tough one to navigate for some women, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Like again, everybody's not gonna be for me, and
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So what are your like instant I don't know if I asked you this. What are your instant red flags when you're dating or when you're getting to know someone?
Um, insecurities,
Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, insecurities. Yeah.
how a person deals with their phone, not how a person spends their money,
Hmm.
and not necessarily like, oh, don't spend money,
Yeah.
but like I said, what's your relationship with money? How do you
Yeah.
view money? How do you feel like, do you, every time you get a check, do you need to go get a pair of shoes? Do you,
Yeah.
you know, things like that
Yeah.
are things that I look at. How do you treat your family? Like, how do you get
Hmm.
along with your parents? Do you have friends?
Yeah.
Um, and if you don't, like, that's not the end of the world, but why? You
Yeah.
know, some people just aren't, they don't keep those connections, or, they just, they've thrown themselves into career so much that it's hard to build the connection. So
Yeah.
like, you got to be willing to look at a person,
Hmm.
see them for who they are, and determine, does that person fit with who I am?
Yeah.
Can I bring them into my world with what
Hmm.
I got going on now, and how would they blend into it?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at anybody. I don't have like instant red flags other
Right.
than
Okay.
insecurity.
Yeah.
That one I can't deal with. And
Yeah.
I just know me as a person. Like, I don't deal well with insecurity. Like I have things I could be insecure about, but I'm not. I just,
Yeah.
my weight is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
I can't connect my beard. Like it's just
Yeah.
things about me that I'm okay with
That's
that.
right.
It's just who I am. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna be with me, you have to accept me where I am, not accept you where you are. Now,
Yeah.
am I going somewhere in life? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do they need to be going somewhere in life? Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Now we talked about like what I was looking for, right? So what are you looking for? What are qualities you looking for? Um,
Um, I like an honest person that can help me grow.
yeah.
Um, Somebody that challenges me, that compliments me. And then not compliment as in saying compliments, but compliment who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking for somebody that, knows what they want out of life,
Mm,
is going after what they want out of life, uh, but also is like okay with just the little moments. Like
yeah.
I like to take value in the small things. So
Right.
somebody that understands the small things in life, and you know, they're not too big in life to overlook those small things.
Mm,
Like I like a person that, you know, I'm not an active person, but I like outdoors. I like
mm,
waterfalls. I like nature. And
yeah.
somebody that can value that. Somebody that wants to travel. Somebody that wants to, you know, um, create memories, because
Yeah.
the best thing you can build with a person are memories. Best thing
Mm,
you can gain from a relationship are those type moments. So
yeah.
I want somebody I can share those moments with and really just, serve God and just rock out life. Like I don't think I want a lot, but
Yeah.
hey, who knows? I may be back here. I may still be in this position 5 years later. So
Oh, you better speak that.
I mean,
but
hey,
but you'll be okay with that, right?
I'm not gonna say I'd be okay with it, but I'd navigate it.
You'll navigate
I
it.
would
That's good.
I would prefer to be in a relationship by then than
Yeah.
to be married again. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's not where I'm gonna be at, I'm gonna be okay. Like
Yeah.
I'll be out and enjoying life, and,
Yeah.
doing things.
Yeah.
I have friends that keep me level, so I don't
Yeah.
uh I don't feel the pressure of loneliness. So
Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to get there, to where you're comfortable in your singleness?
2020, 2021.
2020.
Um, I think by the end of 2020, I just said kind of was like, okay, this is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
This is what it is, and it's okay. Like you don't have to feel this pressure to meet and be with somebody.
Yeah. What advice do you have to a single um single Christian man
What age
navigating this
range?
thing? What age range? Let's talk about our age range. Let's talk 38 to like let's say 45. Like what advice do you have for him?
Be open to engage. We Christian men at this age are so unapproachable. They seem so
Mm,
standoffish, and I think the best thing I can say is be open. Like
yeah.
don't don't close off and expect perfection in whoever
Mm,
you're trying to meet.
that's
But I
good.
think a lot of times we we're rough on women. Like in what we expect, what we want, how we want it. It's like we have a map to what we want, and
Hmm.
we don't allow room for anybody else to come in and be a part of that map. I think
Mm,
at some point we gotta really kind of shift how we deal with each other, especially with
Mm,
women. Because
yeah.
right now, any Christian platform you go on, any Christian dating site, room,
Mm,
there is a disconnect between when, I'll say this in the black community because I don't know how the
yeah.
white community go. There is a disconnect between black men and black women. We
Mm,
are on two different planets at this point, and how do you bridge that gap? And
mm,
to me, it starts with the men. Like we have to stop being so rigid with how we deal with women, so
yeah.
rigid in how what we expect in a relationship. Because let's be honest, submission was for both parties. It wasn't just for the woman.
Come
We are
on.
supposed to submit to our wives just like they're supposed to submit
Mhm.
to us. And what does submission look like? It's service. We
Yes.
got to learn to serve our women just like we expect them to serve us.
Yes.
So all this, she need to bring me a plate to the table. Bring her a plate to the table sometimes, you know. And I get it. We expected to pay all the bills and all this stuff. Like again, stop looking at the surface level topics
Mm-hmm.
and put it in your situation.
Yeah.
If that's not how you view life, then that's not how you view life. My
Right.
parents, my parents paid bills together,
Yeah.
and they got different accounts, but they paid bills together. They,
Yeah.
I saw what a working household looked like.
Mm,
So for me, I don't necessarily prefer a woman that want to be at home
yeah.
because I've never seen that life. Doesn't mean that if I met a woman and that's what she wanted, I
Yeah.
can't adjust. But I have preferences now.
Yeah.
So again, I can be rigid and be like, hey, everybody I get with, you got to have a job. You got to come to the table 150-50. But I may
Yeah.
meet a woman that's like, hey, I I expect to have my husband take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be okay with that. If
Yeah.
that's who I'm supposed to be with at that moment, this is the person that God has presented. I have to
Yeah.
be okay with. I'm the breadwinner. I got to make. We got to stop being so rigid. It's
Yeah.
too many. It's already too hard to navigate dating.
Yep.
But then we've navigated dating and made it such a complicated task.
Yeah.
Now it's, well, she went and got her butt done. I can't date a woman that had surgery. Like,
Yeah.
where does it stop? Where does it end? So
Yeah. Why do you think, okay, so we're talking about dating groups and stuff. Why do you think it's so many um the ratio is what it is, right? Why do you think dating apps, dating groups, why do you think it's so many men or so many women to men? And why do you think people are just not connecting? Like, and then why is it okay, answer that. I don't want to bombard you with a whole bunch of questions.
people aren't connected because they don't want to.
Mm,
I think a lot of people get in these groups and it's good for the attention, but when it really comes to having to date and get out and meet, that's more than what they're looking for at that time.
mm,
I also think that again, what we deem that we want when we find it and it's presented to us in the group,
yeah.
it's not the package that we wanted in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think also you got to get past the mindset that so women are more, it's more women. So y'all
Yeah.
are more liable to be active in the group. And
Yeah.
what I mean by active is outwardly active. Doesn't mean the men are being active in the DMs. It just means they're not gonna put everything out in the open.
Yeah.
Because if I talk to one woman
Mm,
and it don't work out,
yeah.
you know, now I'm this guy that's jumping around. So a lot
Mm,
of what men do is in silence, whereas women do a lot of more openly.
that's
It's just like people want to be seen on social media when they're in a relationship. Oh, he didn't post my picture.
come on.
Hey, y'all want y'all want the visual this is what I have. Whereas
Right.
we don't necessarily need the visual. We just need
Yeah.
it to be okay. I'm talking to this person in the background.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of. There's several different
Yeah.
factors to the activity of the men versus women, but
Yeah. Wow. So yeah. I don't know what see I got short memory. I don't know what other question was going to be. Um what okay. Why do you think and I think you just answered it though, why men don't get in the DMs or why they don't like you on dating apps while they're quiet is probably because what you just said that y'all do stuff and really y'all don't really express it a lot.
well, I mean, okay, so dating apps are a little different. Like being in a group on like a Facebook or
Hmm.
something like that, that's different. Now,
Yeah.
dating apps, if the dating app don't allow you to speak first, or the dating app doesn't have a section where you can comment, and they're
Yeah.
just swiping
Yeah.
until you actually connect, they're just like
Yeah.
you're stuck. So, I think the true dynamics are we go after a lot of the same women because what you
Mm,
see on social media, picture wise, again, like they say, men are visual.
yeah.
We're attracted to what we're attracted to.
Yeah.
So you're only gonna see what you feel is attractive. Now, I'm sure most guys vet pages. When they see
Yeah.
a person they think is pretty, they're gonna go and try to look at their page and check them out.
Yeah.
But it's very hard in these types of rooms and stuff to know what a person is like because all you
Yeah.
see is surface. So a lot of women are like, I don't have nobody in my DMs.
Right.
Change your pictures up. Do something different. Like do something different.
That's what I'm saying. That.
You gotta find something that's gonna catch their attention. And I'm not saying
Right.
go out there and put your body on display or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
men, again, they're gonna see a woman in there and they're gonna see what they are attracted to.
Yeah.
And that's whose DMs they're gonna jump in. They're not gonna just
Yeah.
jump in because you say you're available, now you gonna have 10 men in your DMs. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm
Right.
sure in a group they got 1,000 women and 500 men. 500 women are getting DMs and the other 500 aren't because they found something attractive. These 500 men are probably in exactly 20 to 30 of the same women's DMs, all
You
trying to
think
talk to the
so?
same women.
Yeah. That. Yeah. I see that.
And
I
it's
see that.
usually women that aren't even, hold on, it's usually people that aren't commenting.
You think
You'll see
so?
a group and they got 5,000 members, and some of them new and don't ever say anything in them groups. But I guarantee they've got DMs in there. They got somebody in their DMs. Somebody done slid in there and tried to. But they seen them and thought they was attractive.
So, as a man, what is your advice for women to get out there, like in like these groups, dating apps? What advice would you give women, single Christian women, that's looking to date or be found, or what's your advice to us?
Um, Honestly, even if you're in a group, get out, go out and do things
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's not a lot of connections online because it's difficult to keep a person's interest when
Mm,
they have 1,000 options.
right.
So the best thing you can do, go out, do activities, um, go to singles, mixers, whatever you do, get out and actually be active.
Right. Yeah. One more question. What is your view on long distance?
I don't know.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So last question, because I know we've been on here for a minute. What's
Yeah,
your
it's
view?
all good.
What's your view on long distance?
Long distance is tough. I don't think long distance is undoable, but it's a lot of conversations that need to be had to make a long distance relationship work. It's a lot of work to make sure that you're connecting and really checking in and having real conversations because
Right.
when you're out of it's harder it's already hard to date because you got to find time within what you already have going on to
Yep.
fit it in and to make sure things you know are flowing.
Yeah.
Now you factor in thousands or hundreds of miles, another city,
Right.
now you're limited to when this person can travel to see each other
Yeah.
or, making a schedule where y'all are actually really dating because
Yeah.
let's be honest, now you got to juggle two lives and you know, then you got to have a conversation on if we do get to this point, who
Hmm.
moves?
Yep.
Who, like, how do we mix our kids? When do you
Hmm.
meet the kids?
Hmm.
All these different things. So it's doable and it works for some people.
Yeah.
Um, but it's got to be like super intentional.
Right.
Um, yeah. Oof.
Tough one,
I,
ain't it?
I, I, hey, I would do it with the right person. Um,
Right.
but like I said, it would have to be conversations and a lot of
Yeah.
intentionality
Yeah.
uh, in the game because I would never want to be in it and not have boundaries and guidelines in it because
Hmm.
you got to have a lot of trust to be dating a person in another state. You got to have a lot of, um, you got to have money to date a person in another state. Like you got to
Hmm.
be able to travel. I think,
Yeah.
I think to make it work, you got to see the person at least once or twice a month at a
Do
minimum.
it.
So,
Yeah. 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 That's true.
and I
That's
mean, that's
true.
30 days. You talking about possibly seeing each other, what, 4 days out of a month? It's tough. It's
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 tough.
it's tough.
It
It's
is
doable,
tough.
but oof.
it's it's a lot to think about. I think when people think about long distance, they need to make a decision on if they can really deal with it or not. I think people say they can
It's
deal with it, and then they really, oh, I can
have
do
no
it,
clue.
and then and then like they don't think about like, well, then I might not see this person, for a month. I might
See,
not see
this is
this
the thing.
person.
What what happens when you have a bad day and you just really need that person that you're talking to? You just need a hug, or you just need, you need that comfort. It's hard to get comfort through a phone. It's hard to get comfort through, text messages. And oh, we doing video chats, and
FaceTime?
that stuff is right. The stuff is cool. It is a
Yeah.
great platform. But
However,
when I'm going through it, your presence
it's
physically is a lot more effective
then
than through a phone.
I get it. Yeah, I can't say nothing because that's yeah. Yeah, because I mean there's gonna be days where you just need that person right there. Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's not doable. Maybe he can get on a flight that day and come comfort you. But the reality is
What if he can't?
that
What if she
right,
can't? But I think that they need to make that person needs to make that decision before, like in the
right.
talking stage. Now that's a conversation. That's a conversation to
But
have.
a lot of people don't have it. Like I said, I've met a person that made me want to do long distance.
Really? How
Um,
far was it?
well, it was some states apart.
Really?
Yeah, it was some states apart. But it would take the right person. It would
Yeah, that's
definitely
yeah.
it would yeah. I mean, it's hard to do it for me within the state. Like where
Really?
I stay compared to where a lot of people stay at. I don't want to drive 2 hours to you. Like I don't want to drive an hour and a half because
Really?
it's just no,
Right. Really? So
it's hard.
you want somebody right down the street.
I need somebody around the corner. I need somebody local. I need you right here,
Right
right
there.
now.
I mean,
And
yeah.
okay, let me not say it's hard because I would, like I said, I've talked to people that didn't stay close to me. So
Yeah.
I'm being silly with it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like the reality of dating is
Yeah.
you want somebody within your vicinity. You want
Mhm.
somebody closer that you can spend time with
Yeah.
because it's different dating when you can spend time with a person than when
Yeah.
you're limited to how much time. Like I've heard people say they date people that work a lot and are busy all the time
Yeah.
that stay where they're at.
Yeah.
They have a problem with that. So how is over the road a flight? How you gonna make that work when you can't see them, but every blue moon? And
Mm,
usually, I'm gonna wake this up.
okay.
Long distance relationships lead to sex a lot faster
You
than
think so? Yeah. Well,
because
mm,
it's emotional. When you finally see each
yes.
other again,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
you play it on the heartstrings,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this hug was everything for me. You know
Yes.
what I'm
And I don't
saying?
want to
And
leave it.
hey, next thing you know, y'all sitting there in the hotel with the pillows fluffed and hey, that's where it goes.
I mean, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Because I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. Um, but you probably are right
Because
because
it's an emotional thing. When you
yeah,
see a person consistently, you are able to build up different defenses. When
yes,
you see a person once or twice a month and you really
mhm,
are feeling that person, when you get that time to spend time with them,
yeah,
it is like euphoria.
yeah,
And all your mind is just thinking about how wonderful this is and
right.
how wonderful this person is. And shoot, you skip past a whole bunch of different stuff because you're trying to fit everything into
Yeah,
these
so a
1 to
couple
2
things.
days.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I think not only that, I think that when you do long distance, y'all connection, like you are building that deep connection, that like intimacy and all that. It's
Because
like
you don't have nothing but time to talk.
you don't
Now,
have nothing but time to
that
talk.
I think long distance, when it works, builds better foundation
Yes.
because you have nothing but time to build that foundation. When
Yes.
you're local, you can build, but you're not building in the same way because you're not having the same conversations you're having
Yeah.
when you're thousands, hundreds of miles away, and all you can talk about is life
Yeah.
and what this person has experienced,
Yeah.
how they grew up, things like that. Like you get a little bit deeper conversations long
Hmm.
distance than you would with a person that you're local with, and y'all can go hang out at the lounge. You can go, watch karaoke, do
Yeah.
karaoke and stuff. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
relationships don't always lead to strong relationships because
Ooh.
once you get into that relationship and you got to start having deep conversations, y'all don't
Yeah.
know how to have them no more because
Right.
everything y'all did was party, 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 party,
Yes.
good times and happy times, and now we're dealing with real conflict or
Right.
real life, you know, issues. Ooh, wait, I don't know how to do that with this person because
Yeah.
everything we did was just fun, 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 fun. So
Yeah. Do you think that if you're long distance, do you think that conflict resolution will be better as well? Because you have to communicate. You have to build a stronger foundation What about conflict resolution? Do you feel like
I'm not gonna say it's better, but you have more opportunity to develop it with a person because
mm,
when things arise, you don't
yeah,
have any choice but to talk it out. You don't have any choice but to try to work through whatever issue it is. Whereas,
yeah,
again, when you're local, you can choose to just get up and leave.
right,
I'm going home today.
yeah,
Whereas you fly into us, hey, you're talking through most stuff on the phone.
yeah,
And then when you see each other, y'all have talked so much and developed
hmm
so much, you know, I guess a feel for each other that
right,
you can kind of work through
yeah,
small things, big things, because y'all
hmm
are learning how to communicate. Now
yeah.
there is an issue with long distance that where we've talked so much, but when we're in person,
What are we talking
what do we
about?
talk about? What are our conversations now? Because
Yeah,
shoot, I know all the stuff to the big conversations because we done
yeah,
had them.
yeah,
So now that's where you bring up topics. You bring
yeah,
up you know different things. So
right.
it's tricky.
Do you think long distance can build stronger relationships than um or this I mean, do you think it has the capability to build stronger relationships than relationships that when you're in the same state? Or you think
Absolutely.
it's 50-50?
Absolutely. I don't think it's 50-50. I think it's a little. I think it leans more towards in-person relationships and
Mm-hmm.
being that you have the chance to build. You may have connection, but you have a chance to build chemistry with
Mm,
with in person because you're
yeah,
spending more time together. You're getting more of a feel with each other.
yeah.
Long distance, I think you're more intentional
Mm,
because everything you have to do is intentional. You have to
yeah,
intentionally set aside time every day to talk or however y'all want
yeah.
to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have these little, you know, virtual dates or whatever. Like
Yeah,
you have to make space. So
yeah.
you learn how to operate with that person within, you know, different parameters.
Mm-hmm.
But local, when you have a person local, they
Yeah,
get to see a lot more of you. They get to
yeah,
see your mood changes, your ups and your downs. Not to say y'all are together every day, but even within that, you have more capabilities to
yeah,
see a person in their ups and their downs and how they move and how they, navigate their stuff and how you blend with it.
yeah,
It's a little bit more complicated when you're long distance.
yeah,
I mean, you get to deal with the person in those moments, but it's
yeah.
different dealing with it from a distance than
Mm-hmm.
having to be in that person's space. How does a man? Uh, One of my biggest issues in my marriage,
Mm-hmm.
my ex would cry.
Is what?
I, as a man, was when my ex would cry.
Yeah.
I,
Mm,
I, as a man, did not know how to deal with her
mm,
crying.
yeah,
How do you comfort a person? Does she want a hug? Does she want me to just kind of give her space? Like
yeah,
you don't learn that through a phone. You don't learn that
yeah.
through a video chat. You learn that in
Mm,
person. So
yeah.
it's certain things that you can get in person that you're not gonna get
Long
over
distance.
that distance. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Well, this was a bomb conversation. We almost had two
uh,
hours. I did not know it's gonna be this long.
I can talk.
You got anything else you want to add?
Um, I just think people need to be more open with being ready for love. I think they
Mm,
need to really be open to the possibilities because
yeah.
a lot of times we're so closed off and
Mhm,
we just expect
yeah.
perfection to walk in the door and say, I
Mhm,
choose you. You are the one. But the
yeah.
reality is that's not how it's gonna happen. It's not gonna be a person that says you are the one. It's gonna be somebody that's like, hey, how are you doing today? What's your day going like? Like, be open to it not being what you expect.
Yeah.
Be open to the possibilities that it's somebody that you never expected it to be.
Yeah.
But be open. The only way you're gonna get to love again is to be open to
Yeah.
what love brings to you, because
Mhm.
it can be a totally different person than what you're praying about right now. You know, now, don't be too rigid in your prayers to where you're not asking God, what's your will? You know, you get the people to say, I prayed for him to have six pack, and oh, I needed him to have six figures, and I needed him to be 6 foot plus tall, and he may be 5'8", 240, you know,
Yeah.
with five figures.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
hey, but he could come in and become 5'8", 200,
Yeah.
and seven figures. You know,
Right.
so you don't know what God has in store for you. All you know is, Lord, bless me with somebody that's going to love
Right.
me, that's going to cherish me, and is going to live life with me.
Yeah.
That's what you want. Or at
Yeah.
least that's what I want. I don't know about everybody else. That's what I want.
Go ahead.
So,
Wait, you said that's what I want. What do you want?
somebody that's going to love me,
Oh,
cherish me, and
yeah.
going to live life with me. That's the if
Right.
God bless me with that, hey, everybody don't have to have the same thing.
Right.
Some people want a pastor. You know, they want to be a first lady.
That's a calling
If
to be
that's
a first lady
if
now.
that's
That's
your
just,
if that's your prayer and that's what you really want in your life, go and be a
yeah.
first lady.
Yeah. Last question, because that brought me to something. Would you not? What do you feel like praying with your significant other or your person?
Yes, yes. I think there is a connection that is built through prayer,
Yeah.
through you know serving God together, going to church together, reading
Yeah.
His Word together. That you build, that like it's a connection that you're not going to get anywhere else,
Mhm.
because marriage was a gift. You know, it was a model of God and His relationship with the church. So
Yeah.
um, I think I think that's just the ultimate goal, is to be with somebody that not only prays for you, prays with you, prays about you, you know, and vice versa. Like if I get with somebody, I get with somebody and I'm not willing to pray with them, pray for them, pray about them,
Yeah.
pray about the things matters of their heart. Um, I don't think we will work, because you got to have that connection for me. And I've lived a life without it. And
Mm,
it's different. Like
yeah.
you feel like you're fighting battles by yourself.
Mm,
Um, and shoot, I can do that single. So if I don't have my spouse on the same page with me on that, I don't think that relationship gonna work.
yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. This is some
Oh,
a good time.
anytime, anytime. I enjoyed myself.
I appreciate your time. So how I know once it's posted, if people listen to it, I know they're gonna be trying to get at you, Brian. So how can they get in contact with you?
Um,
He's like, "Hell."
I'm on Facebook. I'm on dang, what else am I on? Uh, I'm on Instagram. It's bhead323 if you wanna follow me. Um, and yeah, I guess join the Christian singles group to see if I'm in it.
And you open to DMs.
Oh yeah, go outside of my DMs. It's okay.
he
That's
is
nothing.
he's
That's
open
nothing.
to DMs. He's open.
Don't mean that we gonna talk, but
What
I am open to it.
he
I would
said,
no. Let me not say that. I'm sorry. I will speak. It
you
just
was
doesn't mean it's gonna go anywhere unless we got something to talk about.
Okay, so what what brings you in originally? Like that, what's your curiosity? Like,
It depends on where I'm at. It depends on like so. We'll take Facebook for example,
okay.
because I'm on there a lot in Christian singles groups. I like to see how a person answers questions. If everything they say is like rehearsed or it's kind of rigid and
Mhm.
because I won't consider I don't consider myself like a traditional Christian,
Yeah.
and I'm not really I'm old school, but I'm new school, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. I don't want somebody stiff. I don't want somebody that
Yeah.
can't enjoy life.
Right.
So if I see you got a sense of humor, that draws me in. If I
Yeah.
see that you look at things from more than just a singular lens,
Yeah.
that draws me in. Of course, I got to feel like I'm going to be attracted to you because I don't want to waste anybody's time
Yeah.
when it comes to like, oh, I've had people try to talk to me in my DMs, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work, and it's not like a personal thing, but I already know I'm not attracted to you, and you can build attraction,
Right.
but not online. Uh, Let me say that again. You can build attraction. You're not gonna
What
build attraction online.
what does that mean? This is gonna be whole lot, like what does that mean to you? Like what I mean, I'm curious.
If you're so in person, you can meet a person and be like, eh, I'm not feeling that person. But the more time you spend around them,
Okay.
the attraction changes.
Yeah.
You don't do that online. That picture doesn't change. Even if you change the picture, most
It
times it doesn't change the attraction.
yes.
It's
Okay.
different in person because you're having interaction with you like, oh, this person's personality is dope, you
Yeah.
know. So online you can be a little bit more it's
Like
it's just a
eh,
different level of
yeah.
honesty. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, I hope you get his DM.
no, I know that answer might get me in trouble, but it's okay.
It's your honest answer though. I mean, that's you. Can nobody get mad at what you need or what you desire? I mean, that's your
I
preference.
think more people online need to be honest. That's all I'm saying. Just be honest. It's okay. Like I had a real problem with rejection uh 5 years ago.
Okay.
And what I realized is rejection happens every day in some type of way, form or shape or another.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna tell you no, and hey, you go to your boss, you say I want a promotion. He say no. Is that the end of the world? You still gonna keep going back to work, right? So
Yeah. Well,
the worst thing a person can tell you is
no.
no. And, and you survive from those.
That's right. Right.
If
What?
I tell you no, it's not personal. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay. Well, get in his DMs, ladies.
No, no. What women say to men all the time? Look at you and make it make sense. That's all I'm saying.
So you ain't trying to make it make sense.
Nah, I take all of it. Anybody want to jump in? We can talk. I'm not. I'm not like that.
Well, I
You'll get
mean,
you'll get my undivided attention for that moment.
that's honesty. I mean, that's more than what some people would say.
I mean, it's just the harsh realities of dating now. Like
It
you
is.
can't you can't. I'm not gonna say you can't sugarcoat, but you can't compromise either.
Right.
Like if
No.
it's just not gonna work, it's not. And that's not just for your sake. That's for the other person's sake too. Like
Right.
You get a lot of people online. What do you see them saying? That person wasted my time. Well, I just don't want to
Right.
waste nobody's time. I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, but yeah, you're right.
But if you think I'm right for you, you can jump in my DMs. It's okay.
Right, right.
As they say, the doors of the church are open.
The doors of the church is open. All right. So thank you so much. This was good.
Nah, you welcome. I enjoyed it. This was fun.
It was fun. So yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much, Brian. Have a great night.
You too. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Super excited, y'all. Cannot wait for the next episode. But you all have a great night, and thank you all so much for tuning in. This episode was super long, but I promise, I pray that y'all got something out of it. Oh, it was exciting. I loved it. So as always, I pray that you have a great, that God continues to bless you, that the peace of God just hits your home, that He just continues to bless you, bless your socks and your mind off. I just pray that He just continues to just the blessings will just overflow in your home, that every need is met. I just want to thank you all so much again. I am just, today was great. So have a great night. Thank you again for tuning in to Ignite Podcast with Erica Pearson. Again, my guest was Brian Whitehead. I did not write his Instagram down, but you can get in touch with him via Facebook. Brian Whitehead. Okay, so y'all have a great night. Super excited. Thank you all so much. Bye, y'all.